Hello, welcome to your reading today. So in today's reading, we're going to do the read in regards to a secret that you're uncovering in your life. So you're on the path to uncovering something new, and this will give you a hint, if not, maybe give you the whole story about what this is. It's supposed to be a secret, right? So this wouldn't come through if it wasn't something that you needed to remember or uncover now. So this may be a hint to it, or it's going to be the actual secret revealed because it's time for you to know. So let's take a look and get some piles sorted. Pile 1. I'll take that one. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards today. So for pile number 1, you have Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper with Goodwill. It has the crystal goddess number of 888. Actually, I'll just show you closer. For pile number 2, you have the goddess Persephone and Ruby with Inner Queen. Again, 888. And for pile number 3, you have the goddess Matangi and Heliptrope. Already there is value. Again, 888. So all 3 piles are goddesses today. Alright, so I'm going to leave these 3 piles here for you to pick. Pick whichever one is calling to you. So that'll be the right one for you, and have a look at your secrets that will be uncovered. Down below you can jump straight to your video. There will be timestamps, or you can just drag the cursor across and go straight to your video. So I'll see you in your reading. Hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you've chosen Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper with Goodwill, 888. Interesting that they were all goddesses coming through to this reading today. So it's going to be an interesting one. As you can see, a lot of cards, so we'll just see how this flows. Straight away, what I was getting with this isn't going to be like a secret that's revealed or uncovered or that you're working towards. Isn't necessarily something based heavily in 3D, which is funny because we've got the Earth here, but this feels like the spirit of, or something like that. So it feels like really internal, something that's from within you coming through and being seen. So this is nothing new. You may already know what this is, but you're going to cherish it and recognize it as the gift that it is to you, instead of seeing it as something that was not something you wanted to share or be exposed or be seen. It's time to spotlight it. It's almost like a special gift that you're uncovering. So if you were picking this pile to see if it was something like, what does my ex think of me, or something like that, this is not going to be that pile for you. This is more of an internal growth rather than something 3D. And, you know, this is quite a deep pile, I feel. All right, let's have a look. Okay, flipping them already. Healing light, very nice. Yeah, goodwill, healer. Very clear what this is about. This is about a gift that you have within you coming through, this healing light. This is you being you and being able to influence others. Even if you go to a supermarket and don't talk to anyone, just your energy radiates from you and you're able to influence people in whatever you're radiating, right? So if you're radiating negativity, right, you'll attach that to other people. Obviously you won't be, but you know that's the type of energy that's coming through with this reading. You're uncovering your gifts. The secret is not so much a secret. Okay. Well, that one did flip out, so I'm just going to leave that one there. And the rest I will not flip over until they're all out. The song playing is You've Got the Love as well. So I feel like the secret or the thing you're uncovering is something so deep within. And it's just understanding that that was always your gift. The thing you thought was not your gift was always your gift, or that other people thought was weird or not, I don't know, not perfect or something like that. That imperfection or that perceived imperfection was always the gift you've always had. And this is the time to shine that through, let it out, let it be seen. It's going to make you feel so good. Okay. I'll read Green Tara's message on here. It says, wellness unfolding. Know that healing is a journey. So everything you've been through has helped prepare you in a highest way for whatever's to come, whatever secret this is. I think an easy way to look at this is sometimes certain people will be like, why can't I find the perfect person? And then let's say 20 years in the future, you have found that person, that great relationship, etc. And then you look back and you'll be like, that time that I really wanted it, if I found this person then, I was not ready. But whenever we're in the moment, we're like, of course I'm ready. What are you talking about? But you know, that's humans for us, right? Being human. We always think we're ready for everything and want the biggest changes and the greatest like improvements in life, the biggest things. And then we start to go on that path and realize, oh no, that's too much. That's too much change. That's too different. I don't like it. It's too heavy. It's too this, that. But really we go through many different things to be ready for the actual benefits of whatever we're looking for. I hope you can see, even looking back, how much life has changed. You know, if you're quite young, then maybe there's already some changes there as well, but it doesn't matter too much about age. Sometimes even the youngest person doesn't need to go through all that kind of chaos, turmoil, challenges to get into a place where they're ready for whatever their goal is, whatever their purpose is in this lifetime. Okay, and this one. Green Tara always feels like protection too, being able to protect those who need it. It's a very heart-centered color. I will say from these two cards with the goodwill, this is about you helping others and learning through others and other people learning through you. There's that give and take coming through. What makes the world go round? It's kind of the energy coming through. Okay, let's take a look. So you also have Knight with loyal, romance, chivalry, a love of honor. It's really interesting coming through with this card when I was talking about relationships, being ready and that kind of thing. There might be, for some people, this energy coming through. I do like this, a love for honor. You've definitely come to Earth or incarnated in this lifetime to really share something, share information, share good vibrations, right? Light codes, whatever you want to call it, whatever keyword you want to pick up and go, yes, that makes sense for me. Just think about it, because the secret is coming through. You're already on the path of uncovering what this is. It feels like your path has been interesting, like with the different changes and challenges that everyone goes through, different things, right? Everyone goes through some kind of challenge. It's all our perception on how we see or view it, because people can go through the same thing and feel very different about it, depending on their history, their culture, etc., etc., etc. But it does feel like a good time. It's like you found some kind of like stability or peace, and now it's like, what's the next step to how can I assist or help others? And I think you're already on that path of uncovering what that is. You've also got the Chimera with Alpha and Omega. This talks about pathways, cycles, and truth. Definitely uncovering certain aspects of yourself. Might be on a inner world learning. And I believe that that's been true since birth. You've been like understanding yourself, understanding this world environment, understanding how people interact, understanding how whatever gifts you had were either locked away or you celebrated them. So it's going to be different for everybody. But for some people, I feel like they shut it down because they didn't want to act weird. They just wanted to fit in. And then other people just let it fly, right? And so this is about sharing your gift through here. This is very, very strongly, I'm going to say, Pawan, about gifts, about your gifts. Okay. All right, divine matrix, interconnectedness, synchronicities, and coincidences. This is the flower of life, right? So it's everything. It's everything. Realizing your connection with Earth, why you're here. There's a lot of this kind of energy coming through. If you're like, well, I don't know what that is, slow down and think about, what is your heart calling towards? Like, what am I saying? What is your heart attracting? But what is your heart calling you towards? So like, what are you drawn towards? Because that'll uncover it all. It has to come through with divine timing, and I believe that's why I put that idea of the relationship, really, like the person who's ready now, but the in hindsight, the person up here is like, oh no, she was not ready, or he was not ready. He would have been ready here, or she would have been ready here, right? And that's when we met, and that was perfect timing, because if it was there, I still hadn't dealt with a lot of stuff, or I felt like I knew everything, but I didn't really know a lot about certain things or uncovered enough, and that might have changed the relationship. But meeting him or her here, or whoever there at this point, helped us to get into a good relationship in the future, which is exactly what I wanted in this time. It just had to happen in divine timing, and this is really what this is talking about. Synchronicities, interconnectedness. You're getting a lot of information. This one, especially here with the Alpha and Omega, is kind of like touches on God, or our source, or universe, whatever you want to call, everything where all the energy has kind of come from to make us all. A very interesting one. You're very dedicated. I feel like with the Knight coming through, it's very dedicated to what you came down to do. And the secret is not so much a secret anymore. It's literally, the secret is you expressing this in some way and helping others, because it feels like you're just drawn to do that. Okay. So you've got Judgment with Collective Awakening. That's what I said. You're here, like, with this. Look at these horses too. I mean, this is a kind of Pegasus style. Like, I don't know if they have like a specific name, but like Pegasus, and like a flying unicorn, and this horse here. Like, you're definitely here to, I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting, for some of you, this is just some. You're here to kind of like restructure the fabric of like this reality, I guess. I know it sounds really like what, but you've come to Earth to kind of like help the Earth shift. That's how it's feeling. The Earth is shifting in some way, regardless of what we say, do, want. And so we're just kind of like deciding if we come along with it in some way. And I think you're here to kind of, you might have traveled a little bit or go to certain places being like, why am I here? But you're doing something, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it. That's helping. But yeah, you have a huge influence on people. Sometimes very small words can be like big things. I remember this lady on a short or on TikTok or something like that Kate was talking about a time when she was at a job, she didn't like it, she hated it. She was on a train with someone, they talked together, they actually had a similar job, but she was like, yeah, I just left and did my own thing because I was unhappy working huge amount of hours, just not living life, right? Not feeling like I was alive. And so she kind of took that one conversation on the train and just completely changed her life around and was like, yeah, why do I do this? Why am I buying into that everyone has to have a 9 to 5 job and work for this company for the rest of their life, right? And I mean, you'd look, it may be for you, it may not be, but this judgment is all about the understanding. It's like, oh, right, okay, this is why these lessons happened, or these tragedies or this kind of challenge happened, because it's helped me it's helped me not be, what is this? It's made me who I am today. And how I perceive that is up to me, how I perceive it. Collective awakening is a very interesting one too. You know, if you want to come through with what's the changes that are occurring, there is this opening up. You're probably already awakened in some sense. So you're here to assist in that. And that's not to go, hey, shake them awake. It's just kind of like, just be you and be who you are. It's kind of weird. It's almost like this is how it's feeling. It's like going into a supermarket and almost like touching an item, like a bag of, I don't know, chips or something, and then putting it back, realizing, I don't want that. And then someone else grabbing the bag, and for whatever reason, the imprint you left on it unintentionally kind of like soothes them or helps them in some way. I don't know what that is exactly, but you are this healing light. It's funny because the song playing now is You're Beautiful, you know, you're beautiful, it's true. So that's just interesting. You got to see that too to believe it. If you don't see it or believe it, then you know that is true as well. So make sure your reality is exactly what you believe as well. Okay. You also have the Catalyst Shadow Clearing. Yeah, interesting here coming through with this one. Getting like goosebumps about this on this one. Like it's just gone from my legs. Yeah, there's been some challenges because this is the Tower card, the Catalyst. It's like, you know, that thing that occurs that kind of shifts and changes your life in a way. I don't believe you have to do anything necessarily. If you're into like healing modalities, all that kind of stuff, go do that. Go do what you're called to. But it's almost like you just living and being here is helping. You living and being alive in this time is helping. So remember that as well. But there's more uncovering. This like dragon here is really interesting. We're coming to next weekend, actually, the year of the dragon. Even if you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this in like, you know, within the next 12 months, you'll know that we already are in the year of the dragon. It's the wood dragon, which seems to be more calming than, you know, the general kind of like energy of a dragon. Also, you have the Sage of Activations, Logic, and Structure. So many jagged edges in this. It's so interesting. You don't have to, I will say this, you don't have to dissolve, you know, you don't have to, what am I trying to say? Not dissolve. Not like you're going to actually dissolve, but you don't have to choose one or the other. You don't have to choose logic over intuition. All of it is fine. All of it is part of you. You don't have to choose like hate on your ego and only love on your light, right? This hate is never going to help anything in anyone's life. It's all about a blend of all of it. And the Sage of Activations is the King of Swords, has the energy of the King of Swords. And, you know, he's intelligent. He can kind of decipher what is correct for him or her or whoever. Like the what am I pointing at? This intuition side of you, this logic side of you, this wisdom, the things you've learned over so many times, because this is the understanding, this is the things that have blown up life and that kind of thing. And so it's just really interesting with this one coming through. It's that full complete understanding and comprehension. And once you get to that point, it's like, okay, what's next? Where do I go from here? What is my next phase? How do I bring that in? You got to listen to your heart, I guess, is the best way I can put it. Because certain things will occur to uncover the real secret of this reading. There's like most of this is talking to probably certain things you're already aware of. But there's also hints and secrets in this reading. I just realized it's really interesting. Because at the heart of it, if you look back and understand, you'll understand what your part of your gift is, part of your purpose is here. Okay. So you have the strength card. You're getting a lot of mages. Yeah, a lot of mages. High priestess. See, some of these are still secrets. This is just a taster of what you're capable of, but you have to believe it. You don't have to believe it, but it's in your best interest to like slow down, think about all the stuff that makes you you. You might think you're living a very ordinary life, but in the background, you're doing so much. Also, the Queen of Swords, interesting. Isn't that interesting? 2 mages, and then a court card, both swords too, Queen and King. Definitely here to clear out some shadows, for sure. The shadow clearing, this awakening, helping people relieve themselves of their burdens, the things that hold them down, even if it's from the past or past lives, or just like, you know, expectations from parents or society, or based off their gender or race, or like, you know, or what their parents used to do, or what their brother or sister does. You know what I mean? It's like clearing all that out, clearing all that nonsense out. You had good intentions coming here, probably bought into some of the stuff, and of course we all do because we're indoctrinated it in childhood. And some of it is helpful and good, and some of it is helpful and good for that period of time, but now it's actually a burden. So understanding that is going to help you understand your gifts. You know, with these 2 cards especially, it's not about being told what this is, about uncovering and enjoying that. So very interesting kind of energy coming through here, especially with the Chimera. Chimera is kind of like a mix of many creatures, right? So it's like bits of this and that. And maybe you're slowly uncovering and seeing every single little piece of yourself, and being able to utilize it in your physical life here on Earth. I want to see if they want to say anything else. I feel like they're wrapping it up, but I kind of want to keep digging. I'm going to grab another card. Give me a sec. Not that one. Yeah, this is going to be layer by layer, because the ocean Jasper is like, you know, we understand this, there's the surface, but we don't know every single layer of like what some creatures live at, right? There's colossal squids, and there's hardly any pictures of them because they live in such a crazy environment down in the, I think it's in the Antarctic. One of the poles anyway, very deep down. And so we don't know a lot about them, but we know they're alive, right? We know they're there. They're not make-believe. There's bodies and stuff like that that have been found. So it just takes time for us to uncover these things and understand. When I'm kind of not just about the colossal squid, but about ourselves, it takes time and understanding. If we knew everything that we knew now at the start, we would have had completely different lives. We would have chosen things that wouldn't have helped us learn. We would have avoided all that because we already knew it. So, you know, it's just how human incarnation works. Interesting that it's upside down. Yeah, I think it's not going to give me exactly a clear answer. But the perceived things that, when I say things, I mean situations and challenges that have occurred in your life have really helped you understand how challenging the fear of whatever you've been through. So, like feeling trapped or feeling like you never had a voice or you weren't able to speak your truth in the past has really helped you value what it's like to be able to do that, right? We don't really appreciate when we're sick. Sorry, not when we're sick, when we're healthy, and then we get sick. When we're sick, we really appreciate how good it is to be healthy. But when we're healthy, we're just like, this is normal, right? This is our default. Well, this should be our default. So I think having the like huge blessings and the challenges really shows us just what it is to be human and be alive in this timeline, especially. So I don't think they're going to give me more details. I just really wanted to help and dig for you. I think you'll be uncovering, or I feel like you'll be uncovering more of this as you go through. Like the strength card is understanding your strengths and weaknesses, or your perceived weaknesses. And I think some of those perceived weaknesses were actually always your strengths. You know, someone who has a life where they don't have to leave the house, everything just gets brought to them, that kind of thing. They're not bad people, right? But they don't have a huge amount of knowledge of what it's like to live in, have bills, or worry about maybe running out of food or anything like that, right? So the wacky and wild things that you've been through have helped you get to where you are and have been, I guess, blessings in the way of uncovering more about yourself. And I feel like you're still on the path of uncovering who you are, uncovering your gifts and how you can utilize them in the world. But don't worry too much about feeling like you need to pick up a modality to do that. Just being you is perfectly fine and enough. I'm sure you'll dig further anyway, and that's okay too. Okay, well, that's exactly what I see in your reading pile number one. Feel free to ask any questions. Remember, this is a secret. Not always going to get exactly what this is about, but I think during the reading, there's been hints dropped in here, here, here for you to collect. And it's about self-belief rather than being told the secrets or who you are or your gifts. This is about uncovering and truly believing that that is your true gift. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, part one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading today. So you've chosen the goddess Persephone and Ruby in a queen. Very interesting one, right? Persephone, Ruby, such an interesting one. Persephone's got such an interesting story. I will say this inner queen really shows her determination regardless. She didn't act like a victim. She acted like she knew who she was, right? She embodied who she was, wherever she was, even whatever the situation is by the myth of her getting taken to the underworld by Hades, still being able to rule and not feel like she's been victimized in a sense. It's an interesting story anyway, and it's an interesting one. Goddess of fertility, birth, and spring, I believe. We'll have a look. So remember, this is a secret that you're on the path of uncovering. This could be about yourself. I mean, in a queen, it's going to be internal. So if you were thinking this is about someone else, this has got nothing to do with anybody else. This has got all fully to do with you and who you are and remembering who you are as well. So it's going to be an interesting secret. Might not uncover the full story. However, we'll get enough of what you probably already have uncovered and maybe just need that confirmation. Okay. I think wants that one. I feel like that one really wants to come through. So getting a couple of these cards. See how squished I can push them in. Alright, so secret that pile 2's uncovering. That one doesn't feel right, that one does. We'll just go 2 for that one. All right, let's take a look at your cards today. So you have Scribe. Interesting here, because you know that story that I was talking about, and then Scribe coming out. It says here, preserving knowledge and information. It's interesting because it's like something in your story is being uncovered, maybe from your history or from who you are, like a past life. You may resonate with someone or resonate with a particular past being. And I feel like even if it was like true or not that you figured out whether they're a past life or not, regardless, that life has been imprinted in you in some way. Potentially, it's not the full story that humans have written down right now. There's something extra there that you are uncovering or that you're learning about. This is about something to help you be you. I'm getting like a really weird energy coming through. Not like weird as in bad, just like, I guess, what would you call this? It's like very grounding energy. Something there, which makes sense with the ruby, right? Root chakra, but I'll come back to that because it's interesting with the scribe though coming through. Relearning history feels like part of you. Maybe you're uncovering stuff through your understanding of history and re-looking at it. You know, a lot of people are talking about now with pyramids, like how they built that kind of thing. And there's some kind of like silly debates and certain things like, oh yes, everyone believes aliens did it or whatever. Who knows what really happened? But you know, it's about uncovering the truth, not just buying into this one's belief or taking on all the like, you know, people thinking other people are stupid or something like that. This is not going to help with anything. Let's just uncover what really feels right. Maybe you're doing that through hypnosis sessions potentially, or intuition, or free writing. What do you call it? Automatic writing. That could be a good one for you. I feel like this is a good time to write down some of those things. Put a question on top of the piece of paper and just let it flow out through you with the intention of connecting with this past life even potentially, or connecting with, I don't know, it feels like you could read a book and almost channel in like whoever, right? Whether they're mythical, like Harry Potter, or whether it's Alexander the Great or Cleopatra or whoever, you know, channeling that in. It's interesting. I've never really thought of trying it like that, but you know, you can practice and play around with that. That might be a way of getting your details, your questions answered. You've got Mentalist and Destiny Knot. If you were ever worried about being on the wrong path, this is very clearly not. You're very clearly intertwined with either someone or this particular path. It's all connected. It says knowing, strong intuition, and destiny. Yeah, you have really good skills, like really high abilities. Do you believe that though? You should, because they're there. You also have Guru Ramdas with miraculous moments. This is harmony surrounds you. Expect miracles. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get the exact like what the secret is. It feels pretty important to the development of who you are and on the inside. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's really interesting, but good things come from this uncovering. some people, it's like, you try to steer them away from going down rabbit holes or anything. And I don't think you'll go down a rabbit hole, but you're meant to go through a lot of discovering and understanding and uncovering to learn what you need. You have your critical mind, which is important, and skepticism is really a good thing here in this. But trust is also really important with who you are on the inside. So there's this like balance between trusting yourself and also, good skepticism. I think everyone should have good skepticism and not just believe anything anyone says, right? So interesting. Even if you're like a very big fan of this particular person, they're saying something and it doesn't feel right in your heart or soul or stomach, trust that as well. Doesn't mean they're wrong or bad. It just means it's not for you to digest or consume in this moment. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, you're uncovering something really interesting. This secret is not going to come out in this reading for sure, but it's really, really, really interesting. Interesting. Okay, I'll stop saying interesting, but it really is. So you got Star Gathering with stars aligned, remembering home and soul family. You might think this might be, oh yeah, my what do you call it? What planet? People always are like, what planet did I come from? What's my star seed? That kind of thing. And I think that's absolutely fine. However, this is deeper than that. This is like remembering who you are from source, not from the last 1,000 lives you've had on a particular planet. That has some decent information in there too. However, this is like going all the way back to the beginning kind of things, going back to source. There is that. However, a lot of this is just like certain things are coming up in alignment. You don't have to need to force anything or worry about anything. You're already on your path, the very correct path for you at this moment. So, that's a really good place to be. Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. So you got Thoth Light codes with Light Initiation, Great Teacher Awakening, and Divine Magic. Yeah, this is really, really interesting. There's like this learning from shadow or learning from what we perceive as negative. Shadow is not negative. It's just an aspect of ourselves that we deal with down here and probably deal with up there. I have no idea, right? It's just how it's coming through. But understanding your divine magic source or something along your, I don't know, something coming out anyway that needs to come through. I wouldn't say you are a scribe. I feel like you being a scribe in this moment is a good thing. Writing down dreams, writing down, maybe having like a spirit journal and writing down the weird shit that happens during the day. You know what I mean? Like just the like weird things. Like, why were these 3 butterflies flying in my face for like a couple of seconds and then flew off? Like, what was that about? That kind of thing. Or even sometimes when I stream on Twitch, there'll be cats that sit outside the window, like out on the footpath, and just watch. And it's really strange, but they're always there whenever I'm streaming. Not every single time, but certain times of the year, that kind of thing, certain hours of the day. So that's kind of odd, right? Because why do they do that? I don't know. But writing that down sometimes is interesting, just to come back over it, and maybe there was some kind of like something there, or maybe you will never know. And that's kind of exciting and fun. I feel like you not knowing is an exciting thing, according to like how this is coming through. So obviously, with this especially, this feels like telepathy or just knowing. Trusting that intuition is going to be really key here. Trusting what you write as well is going to be key. When I first started doing automatic writing, it was coming through with things I would never say to myself, and I thought I was making it up. But then I was like, if I was making it up, I wouldn't say these things. And it was saying lovely things, right? Like, you're full of love, light, all that kind of stuff. Not exactly like that, but you know what I mean? That kind of like positive. And back then in my mind, I was not very positive, especially towards myself. So it was interesting. I was like, well, that feels made up because it doesn't feel like me. And I was like, well, yeah, because I wouldn't say those things. So it's probably something higher or, a more grander aspect of myself. So interesting. You have the Six of Pentacles. Okay. Two of Cups. Ooh. I like these hands coming through. These different gestures, like this, you know, she's riding, he's like on his head. There's like this, you know, give and take. There's this combination. Like hands gestures seem like a thing. I don't know if you even Thoth's hand like this. I don't know. I feel like you do something with your hands and you shift energy around. Okay. Yeah, this is not a path. You won't be feeling like scribed for long, for sure. You won't feel like you're just writing things down for fun or like for no reason. There's going to be a clear understanding pretty quickly, but you're definitely accelerating through this pathway anyway. Ooh, lights collect the world. I wish I knew what this was for you. I really do. But I also feel like that is not what you would want at a soul level. You want to uncover this. This is really nice. Wow, 10 of Earth Guardians. This is 10 of Pentacles and it's got Rainforest. And like when I was talking about the butterflies flying around your face, it's just funny because she has these butterflies here. She doesn't have three, but there is this bird in the background too. This like macaw, I think they're called. Anyway, some tropical bit. Oh look, there's a little frog in her hair. Interesting. Anyway, lots of flowers, lots of like motifs, like little things. And rainforest, what are they known for? They're known for their diversity in life, right? There's so much life there that weird and wacky and wild things start getting created, I guess is what you could say. You know, in the waters, like when you hear like piranhas, they sound kind of wild, right? Like piranhas are just, it's just an interesting fish. Or even the river dolphins that they have in the Amazon, right? Blind, very strange looking creatures, but use their echolocation to zoom around. And I say blind, I don't know if they're fully blind, but they have a lot less sight than dolphins that live in the ocean. So it's just interesting, lots of different variety of insects, plants, and the relationship between them is quite interesting. So really interesting how this is coming through. I will say this, don't be bothered or worried about money. Easier said than done, especially in this economy, right? Who says that in this economy? But it feels like the balance of give and take will keep coming through and you'll be solidified and fine and safe with whatever you do. So, I don't know, keep working your magic with your hands. Your hands are really important with this reading now that I look at it. What you write is, I don't know, is powerful, I want to say. What you do is powerful. How you give and take is powerful. Your connections and how you interlock and weave that within your life. This divine magic, you do have magic within you, for sure. This seasonal light initiation, I'm trying to understand what that means, but I'm just getting blocked from it. I can't even think of ones where I know what I was talking about with light initiations and they're just kind of blocking that too, and it's like, well, that's got nothing to do with this reading, so surely it's okay, but apparently it just needs to be uncovered. You're on a really good path of soul learning. This is like a path that you have signed up for, so to speak, and you're understanding more about who you are and how you're connected to what you're connected to. More grander, I would say, than just so starseeds. And I'm not saying that in a way that people that follow the starseed kind of route is the wrong way, right? That's perfectly fine. You got to follow whatever you feel called to. But it feels like it's really about your connection to source, your connection to your past lives, that kind of thing. So there's a lot here. I'm just going to pull you a starseed card because I feel like I talked about starseeds a bit. But soul family and returning home. Returning home doesn't mean going back to source or going back to this planet. It really is about understanding that aspect of source or that starseed group that you feel really aligned with is within you. It's not, you're not away from it. It's actually within you. The illusion is that you're not connected to it because you're here, right? It feels like you're away from it, but you're actually not away from it at all. You're very much connected to it right now. All right, let's see what comes through. Okay, let's grab this one. You've got light. It's time to reveal your radiant light to the world. Interesting with the world coming through here. This feels very safe and secure, very protected. And light coming through, it's about letting your inner out to yourself. It feels like really to yourself first. You have to believe this inner queen isn't the idea of going out and being like, worship me, you know what? It's like, I do what I want, that kind of thing. That's not what an inner queen does. An inner queen or king or whatever you want to call it knows who they are from the inside and doesn't need to tell everyone who they are. They just radiate that energy. They just are who they are. They don't need the, you know, the clout of telling everyone, oh, you should worship me or anything like this. This is not that. And that doesn't feel like that's part of who you are anyway. This is just about letting that energy flow through you freely, through your work, through your relationships, through who you help and heal, in every aspect of life. But you will be protected. So if you feel like you want to do something, but you're like, I don't have the money, but you do have the money, right? Just know that that'll come back to you. But obviously, please always go with what you feel is right, not what I say or anyone else says. Okay, putting these cards away. All right, thank you so much for letting me read for you pile number 2. Really interesting. I know I probably haven't uncovered exactly what the gift is, but the gift is you, or sorry, the secret. The secret is you. You're uncovering it as you go. These are like light codes, right? Certain information. What you write down is exactly what needs to be reviewed. Doesn't have to be like fully believed. It's just like write it down. Don't be afraid to write it all down. Let it out. You're learning more about who you are and many different aspects of who you are as well. So keep going, keep shining, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your pile. Number 3, you have chosen Goddess Matangi with Heliptrope, and already there is value. Goddess Matangi is really interesting. I have no idea who she was, and so I had a little quick look, and it's just like another aspect of, I think there's like 10 aspects of a particular goddess in Hindu religion or traditions or mythology, whatever you want to call it. So it's really interesting. Matangi, I thought for some reason, because I'm from New Zealand, Matangi is a place in New Zealand, so I was thinking, oh, is this a Māori goddess? But no, and it makes sense because these imagery looks very lotus, very Hindu, Buddhist kind of styles. And it's interesting with the, the double triangle coming through here as well. So it's just, or the Star of David, if you want to say that. So there's a lot of like symbology in here. Already there is value straight away. We'll see what cards come through, but straight away kind of touched on, there's something around you that is like, the secret that we're looking for, or like the secret you're uncovering. It's almost like the reading may go down the line, or if it doesn't, this is maybe just for someone who needs to hear this now, and the rest will be, pick and choose what resonates. But it almost feels like everything that you need to complete what you're going to do or want to achieve in this lifetime is already within your grasp, is already around you. Sometimes we just, kind of ignore it all because we're just going full steam ahead. Okay. All right, so let's have a look. Sometimes we just need to be instead of do. We don't need to do anything all the time. Like, we can enjoy the relaxing times. We can also enjoy the times that we're on the go. This is about being aware and awareness, I feel. A high level of awareness. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a mixed bag, which isn't what you really want to say in a reading, but this is just how it feels. Feels like this will be a mixed bag. So I will say, definitely take what resonates, leave what doesn't with this reading, for sure. Because there's purpose and reason for that. I mean, you should always take that as a given for all readings, to take what resonates, leave what does not. Grab one more. So this is a really interesting one. A secret that, oh, okay. A secret that you're uncovering. This one really wants to come through, so I'm gonna just squeeze it in there. Can I squeeze that in there? Yeah, why not? They squeeze in, move over. Shift, shift, shift. Okay. So let's take a look at your card. Remember, this is a reading in regards to a secret on the path. Sorry, a secret you're uncovering on your path right now, or something that could be about you, could be about in your world. We'll see how this comes through. Look at that, literally on the mission. It's so interesting here. It's pretty funny. So you got Carbuncle and Chicana, which is discovery, unearthing, and unknown. Look at that. Love a little carbuncle too. Interesting little creatures. Because they usually have like a ruby or a garnet here, and pile 2, I believe, had the ruby in there. If you're also drawn to pile 2, you may want to check that out. However, you know, this is a cute little card, really. I love the symbolic, like so many symbols, right? You might be getting a lot of symbols. Symbols seem to be a big thing here. They're also not just picking on or focusing on one particular belief system. This is about all the symbols. They all hold power. Oops, sorry, little eyeball. You also have Messiah. It says serving humanity with humility. This is a big one. Serving humanity with humility. I don't know what the shadow attribute is. I don't really want to read it, but it feels like you don't have to sacrifice yourself. You know, that kind of life was in the past where people almost sacrificed themselves to get out certain messages or you know, gifts of light, let's say, a huge kind of like spiritual bomb, so to speak. There's so many of us here who are helping others that we don't need to sacrifice ourselves or our lives. And when I say that, I don't mean, you know, death necessarily, but we don't have to give up our joy as well to serve and help humanity or others. There is a good balance here with this card coming through. Make sure you do what you need to do for yourself as well as for others. You're not here just to lay down your sword and serve. Oh wow, you also have Sanat Kumara with open channel. It says signs, codes, downloads, and sacred information. Yes, the secret is within the information that you're getting. I don't know if you're seeing a lot of symbols or symbology. Sanat is like such a high light being. Always feels really, really, really bright and good, high energy. I don't know how else to say it. But really, really nice anyway. Coming through with this Messiah energy. So it's like very high level ascended master or god type style energy coming through. Ooh, wow. Okay. Memories of Atlantis. Spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. Interesting. And again, another symbol. You're getting so many different symbols from different traditions. If you ever look at the Chicana in this one, I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's like native to South America. I can't remember which particular, maybe Aztec. Obviously Ankh very much so connected with Egypt and Star of David, Judaism, goddess Matangi, Hinduism. Like, it's not talking about just one place. And we also got Atlantis here, so who knows what kind of activations and symbols they had, right? Maybe they were the ones that introduced or had these kind of things coming through. If you do believe in that, if you don't, that's also fine. This is about acceleration. This is about, you're moving through pretty quickly. So don't burn yourself out, I would say. I know we're talking about uncovering a secret, but if you're getting Messiah with Sanat and all this is not to be told to you. You're not meant to be just like gifted this on a platter. You have to unearth this and uncover this, but it's all around you. I would say it could be in your real life, like in your house or something like that, but it could also be in the world. You might go down a street and finding a four-leaf clover is rare. You might find something like that or see a certain symbol for a store that's popped up that you've always been interested in. It's like, oh, they use an ankh or something like that, or have someone walked past me with a necklace of a cross or whatever, and it's like, I'm just gonna go in here and have a look. Start to just like flow with it a little. There's no need to control how this comes through. Interesting. Ooh, 9 of Cups. Okay. The Hierophant. Are you connected with like Jesus or something like that? The 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, this has to be uncovered in time. So sorry if you really wanted like now. It has to be done in time. And sometimes this is like the person's kind of upset and sad, but really you're growing, you're moving and putting seeds down to grow into the future in some way. So ensure that what you manifest is actually for your highest good. You're learning a lot, learning a huge amount. Sometimes the Hierophant feels restrictive because, it's all about structure and falling into line. This is not that. This is like freedom. It's almost like freedom and knowing what is right. And that might feel like a structure, right? It might be like, well, this is the best way to be me. But it feels like that fits into like a box, and it's like, that's fine. If it feels right to you, you can label it, you can box it in, you don't have to. You can always shift and change it at any time. No one needs to be told what that looks like besides you feeling it. Also, the King of Swords. I like this because with these animals here, it's like the crow feels like a messenger. The owl feels like wisdom, and the bat in the background feels like intuition. You don't have to give up your logical side to trust and believe in your spiritual side, right? There's no like, I feel like a lot of people, maybe not with this pile particularly, but just like in general, are like, well, I either believe in this or I don't. And it's like, well, does that feel right? And what aspects of this area of life feels correct to you? What aspect of this do you want to take with you and heal, or what do you want to leave and cut off, leave behind? It doesn't have to be so black and white. The world isn't black and white. It's full of colors, and even from our perspective, we don't see all the colors. You know how butterflies see the world, or what are those, scorpions have like bioluminescence and things like that. There's so much out there that it's not all just this way or that way. It's like, well, I either believe in all aliens, right, or all ETs, or I don't at all. And it's like, well, if that works for you, it works for you, but that's not everything is that black and white. And so I think you're either helping, because I went on a rant about that, I feel like you're either helping people understand it or understand that within yourself first, and then helping others, start to believe and trust in their intuition. You're not here to teach or tell people how to be. You're just showing them by example and letting them be themselves, because that's what's important. Not buying into society's like structures. It's realizing you can live freely within the structures and without structures. It doesn't matter, because it's all just an illusion. You also have, oh wow, okay, logic and structure. There you go. This is going to be a thing. I don't think you're living in it though. I feel like you're starting to understand and work with it and break out of it in some ways. So you're kind of like living in a box and also not living in the box, right? Because the box doesn't exist and it does exist in at a certain vibration. It's like you're living on Earth, but you're also somewhere else at the same time. So you've got logic and structure with Sage of Activations. This is the King of Swords, so you've got that twice. So if you were wondering like, and so that makes sense with technology. We're not getting rid of the new stuff that we're creating to just focus on the past. We can have a blend of the past and the present and the future and all of it. So I don't know what you're uncovering, but it's very interesting. It might be like a new way of thinking spiritually as well. Kundalini Creatrix, interesting. This is the Ace of Wands, but this is set up as the Ace of Light Codes. So it's like that initiation, that beginning, that idea, that spark. That is definitely this coming from within. There is always, already there is value, is already seeing the world as on the right path. If you get pulled into drama or into the news or into anything that's not healthy or helpful, notice that and start to detach from that, because you're here to share a message or share some knowledge, but not convince people, not force people. You're just here to shine, really. All right, and last one, you have geometric coherence. That's so freaking funny, because literally the geometric kind of like symbols and blah 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 that I kept pointing out, this is the last card, and it's literally just talking to it and kind of showing, like, it kind of reminds me of the Flower of Life. It's different. It's like all of them, right? Again, it's a whole bunch of different signs and symbols. Three of Portals is in the traditional tarot, the Three of Cups, which is like that celebration and being around the people. I feel like you're going to find the right people to connect with, who will listen and benefit from your message and your gifts, or the secret that's coming through. I don't know what it is, because I can't, like, I have no way of reading into this kind of pull. You're here to uncover and unearth it, but you're following your shining light, right? So continue to do that if it feels appropriate, and when you need to slow down, enjoy life as well. You're not here on some crazy mission of saving the world. Like, you kind of are, but when you look at it, you're not the only one. So find the people that resonate with you too, and enjoy the little loops and bumps and like highs and lows of what Earth has to offer, because I feel like by coming here, you're also understanding why Earth is important as well. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card for you, because this is such an interesting reading that I kind of want to sit with it, but I think they're telling me to like wrap it up. But I don't feel like I've told you anything. But maybe you have. That's why I said this is going to be a mixed bag, but I'm going to say this. Symbols are really important, and signs, and that could be in numbers, that could be in a certain word that's important to you, popping up on a book or popping up in a TV show, a certain saying. You're like, wait a minute, did they just say that? Or like, a brand popping up or whatever. It could come through in many different ways. It's going to be specific to you. But you're definitely here to not release and go flying off into the sky. You're here to have a foot on Earth and in the other realm, or wherever you've got your other foot. I like this. Boundaries. Put a ring around yourself and your energies. Yeah, be mindful of who comes through. I feel like this is attracting the right people, right? So make sure that whoever you're trying to share messages with or gain knowledge from, it is the ones that feel resonant, don't be afraid to walk away from certain situations or people. It doesn't mean you leave them out of your life, right? It's just you don't have to sit in that energy anymore. You don't have to sit with that TV show all the time if it's causing you angst. You don't have to sit around those people all the time if it's causing you angst. And if they're in your life, is there a way that you can detach or leave that situation, relationship, connection? Because if it's not going to be healthy for you, it's just going to slow your progress down, and it's going to make you feel crazy. Actually, might actually drive you a little bit batty or annoyed, or with that kind of thing. Not crazy, but you know what I mean. Because your energy is important, and if you're sharing it, it's best to be shared with the people that are going to resonate with it. Don't be afraid to block them or just delete the message. You know what I mean? You're not here to try to like balance every single little thing in everybody. They can do that themselves. So that's their issue. Protect your boundaries. That's all I want to say at the end. All right, and that's exactly what I see in your reading. Interesting. I have no idea how this is going to play through. Logic and structures, certain buildings, certain things are going to pop up in your life, or already are, and they're trying to share you messages. I feel like whatever it is about, there is something around you that you can kind of utilize or use in your messages that you're trying to share. Now, it starts with us. It starts with us and then the people around us, and then it flows out over time, slowly, right? You don't have to jump into like a high position where you can tell everybody what if you want to do it that way, go for it. But if it doesn't feel right, if it feels like that's just jumping the queue, one step at a time up to the light, give it some time. Give yourself some time to like learn and grow and share. All right, that's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, take care of yourself. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next reading.